What is up, guys? Team Fields here with another video, and well, we did it. We passed the 800 subscriber mark. Obviously, I'd say the next goal is 900, but realistically, we know that I've been trying to hit 1,000. That's the big goal by the end of the summer, is to surpass 1,000 subscribers. That'd be absolutely fantastic, and I'm gonna do everything that I can to make sure that I do reach that goal. But seeing we passed 800 subscribers, I promised that I would do a video based on the Mermail deck list that I showed in, I believe, my last video. And it's going to be, I guess, test hand combo-ish kind of thing. I'm going to show you guys the one card combo that I learned a while back, and I've been doing this for a while. I think it's pretty cool. So we're going to go ahead and obviously show that combo first, and then I'll do 2 to 3 test hands so you guys can see how I would play the deck out. But before we do that, if you guys are not subscribed already, as I said, we're trying to hit that 1,000 subscriber goal. So go ahead and smash that subscribe button, turn the notification bell on so you know when I post cool videos like this, because I think it's awesome that you guys can, obviously just get notified that I'm posting something for you to watch. And additionally, give the video a thumbs up, because that always helps my analytics out a whole lot too. The thumbs up is a fantastic button, absolutely fantastic button, and every single time you guys push it, it makes me a little bit happier, which is even better. But without further ado, let's hop right on into the Mermail video of the day. Okay, so I'm shuffling this up, but I'm going to just show you guys the combo here. I'm just going to grab the Deep Sea Diva so I can show you guys what this combo looks like. So all you need is Deep Sea Diva for this combo. It's actually ridiculous that this card does this much. All you do is normal summon Diva. As long as it doesn't get hand trapped, then obviously you're good and in business. And you're going to be summoning your Neptibus off of this. So your Neptibus comes out. Neptibus effect for cost will send Dragoons, and then you'll get to search for another Dragoons. And then your Dragoon's Graveyard effect will trigger, which will search for something that normally you wouldn't search for, which is Lapis Dragon. Most people who have been playing Mermails forever are like, whoa, wait, Lapis Dragon? Like, that's kind of odd. Usually it's like Megalo or Moulin Glacia. But when Lapis Dragon is added to hand from deck, you can special summon it to your field. So that's actually very important. So you special summon this out. You're then going to link your Deep Sea Diva and your Lapis Dragon. And I'm going to keep the graveyard kind of in view, but it's not going to be completely on camera. But and you're going to summon your Crystron Halqifibrax. When Halq is summoned, you're going to get as effect to then special summon from your deck a Fishborg Launcher, which is a very, very powerful card. Keep in mind, this is all off of one card, so when you guys see the end result, you're going to be absolutely shocked. We're now going to link these two. They're both level 1s, which is actually very relevant for this situation. And we're going to be making our Bujinki Ahashima. So we'll make this right here. What happens when he's summoned is you're going to get to special summon a Dragoons from hand and special summon a Dragoons from grave. And you immediately get to Exi summon them, which are going to make your Bahamut Shark. Now, you can use Bahamut Shark's effect to summon a Toad out. Now that we have a Toad out, we have a negation, which is good. We also have 5 waters in grave, and the Dragoon triggers from being detached from our Bahamut Shark. So we search with that. We get our Moulin Glacia. We can then special summon the Moulin Glacia to rip 2 cards from our opponent's hand. Now, this is the part where the combo changes a little bit depending on what your playstyle is and what you want to do. But you have 2 options. So the first thing that you definitely have to do is you summon the Fishborg Launcher out. That's first and foremost, okay? So you get your Fishborg Launcher out. Now you have the choice of doing one of 2 things. There's one option that I like more, and I'll obviously explain it, but there is one thing that I think is significantly better than one of the options. I'm going to show you the bad option first. The bad option is you can synchro summon your Fishborg Launcher and your Moulin Glacia. You can get a Crocosaur, and then you get to draw a card, and you'll obviously, if Diva is the only card that we drew in, or that I was showing for the combo, we still have 4 other cards in our hand. So we would have 5 cards in our hand now off of that. But I don't like that play, because then you don't get a battle phase because Moulin Glacia left the field. I prefer to keep the Moulin Glacia on field and keep the Crocosaur in extra deck. And instead, what I like to do is I like to link my Halqifibrax, my Bahamut Shark, and my Fishborg Launcher. and make an Appaloosa. Because it's 3 negations. So now we've ripped 2 cards out of our opponent's hand. We have an Omni negate and we have 3 monster negates. This is actually pretty good, all off of 1 card. This is all just off of Deep Sea Diva, which is absolutely insane. So I'm going to go ahead and cut the video here and hop over to a couple test hands and show you guys how I would play it out. Most likely, if I see the Diva combo, I'm not going to go like fully in depth with the Diva combo unless there's additional things to it, but let's go ahead and look at some test hands. Alrighty, so it is now test hand time. We're going to go ahead and mix this up a bit. As I was saying before we cut to this portion of the video, if I draw just like a simple Deep Sea Diva combo, I'm really not going to show it. I'm just going to say there's the combo because I just showed you how to do the 1 card combo. The cool part is, too, if you open up like Dragoons and Mermail Abystius, you also get to search the Deep Sea Diva, and in return, you will then have the combo on your board once again, which is actually really, really cool. So, I'll go ahead and cut this a few times. Beautiful. And then let's draw. There's 4. One more. There is 5. So, we basically have the Diva combo. But additionally with that, something that I want to add and note is that if you don't want to, I'm just going to walk through this because it's easier for me to actually show you. I said I wasn't going to do it, but I'm going to do it because why not? So we do the Diva special summons from deck. We'll grab the Dragoon. Oh, sorry, not Dragoons. I'm 1 step ahead of myself. We will move both Dragoons though. We get a copy of Neptibus. Neptibus sends our Dragoon, searches our Dragoon. Dragoon searches for a Lapis. Lapis summons itself. We then link. We make our Hulk Fibrex effect. We get to summon our Launcher. Launcher hits the board. Cool part is this hand kind of plays through Nibiru, which is pretty cool. We link 2. Sometimes it does, sometimes it doesn't. We make the Ahashima, get to summon the Dragoons from hand and the one from grave, and we immediately get to overlay them and stack them into a Bahamut Shark. Then after we do so, we can use Bahamut Shark's effect, detaching and summoning out a Toad. Then we'll get the Dragoon's effect in grave. Gonna grab our Moulin Glacia. Glacia comes to hand. That way we can rip for 2, which is pretty sweet. So as you can see, we have 5 in grave. Go ahead and summon the Glacia out and rip for 2. So now our opponent's down 2 cards, which is really, really good. You do have other things you can do here, and this is where I wanted to kind of like discuss the other options that you have. So something that you can do, and I think this is better, is summoning the Glacia to the far right side zone. You can link your Bahamut Shark and your Halka Fibrax, and you can make a Coral Anemone. Now you can use your Megalo if you wanted to, and you could special summon by pitching like a Gamseel and an Infantry. Normally I'd say like do the Neptibus, but like right now it doesn't really work that well. I'll explain why after. But this hits the board, and then we get the Megalo to search. We're going to go ahead and grab our Abysscale. We can then use the effect of Coral Anemone. We can summon back the Launcher. You can then Synchro Summon for an 8, which is going to be your Dragite. And then you could still use the Fishborg Launcher to revive itself. You can then Synchro Summon there. Make the Croc, which will get you to draw a card. We get the Deep Sea Aria, which is actually pretty decent. So this is like another route that you can go by having cards like Megalo in your hand. Like obviously you don't have the Appaloosa, but now you have a Spell and Trap pop, an Omni Negate, and you have a onboard Disruption. So you'd probably, off of like the pop, discard these two. You don't really need the Mizuchi right now, and the Neptibus can trigger engrave, which is really good. And then you get to keep the Aria for the following turn, because then you can just search for a Deep Sea Diva if need be, and basically combo off again. So that's actually really, really cool. So that's another route that you can go just by having other cards in your hand. Obviously, like I said, it's not as good as the Appaloosa play, but it's still something that functions. But let's go ahead and do another test hand for you. All right, so we're on to the next test hand. I think after this test hand, I'm going to do one more. That way I can just give you guys the basic gist of how I play out certain hands, or give you guys different ideas as to how you can play out certain hands, because what I do isn't necessarily what you need to copy and paste. I think that you should try and find your own routes of doing things too. So let's go ahead and open up with our opening 5. This is almost an identical hand to last time. So this one I'm not going to really do much with, because this is almost identical to the last hand. So I won't do that. We'll actually shuffle this up and do another test hand, because it was exactly the same, which is perfectly fine. It's just showing consistency, which is good. I want you guys to see how consistent this really is, because that's very, very important. Being able to have consistency, that and good deck building skills really make a good player. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. This is interesting. I think I'm gonna go with it. This looks pretty cool. We can do something neat with this. I'm gonna show you guys something neat. So we go with the Deep Sea Diva, getting the effect. We're gonna go for our standard combo, which I feel is something that should be noted. We get the Neptibus. We're going to use the Neptibus effect. I don't even have to really shuffle that much, because there's no point. We send the Dragoons, we'll search for Dragoons, but I'm just going to move the Lapis because we're going to grab it. Search for our Dragoons, and we get to special the Lapis, which is pretty good. Then we're going to go ahead and link, summoning our Halka Fibrax out. Help comes out, getting the effect. We get the special summon our Fishborg launcher. There we go. Beautiful. We then do our link. We already know the drill by now. It's basically the same combo over and over again. We're going to go ahead and get the Ahashima, which will summon the Dragoons from grave and the Dragoons from hand. Then immediately overlay them. The other option you have is you could technically hold this and get the Pike, but I don't see a reason in doing so. Unless you want to like save the Dragoons. That's like the only... Oh, well, you know what? Actually, that's what we're going to do. I'm going to do it. I'm going to show you guys different routes. We summon the Shark. We get the Shark effect to summon a Toad. Then the Dragoons triggers engrave, which will grab us a Moulin Glacia. That goes there. So now we have 5 waters engrave, so we can do the Moulin Glacia play, which is pretty good. Now we can do the Fishborg launcher, summon it out, and then we're just going to link it off immediately for an Appaloosa. Also very powerful. Now things get really, really fun. We can activate our Megalo if you want to. That's an option. I would recommend doing the Megalo and pitching the Teus and the Gund. And this comes out. This will be Chainlink 1. The Gund could be Chainlink 2 to summon the Teus back. Then you get to search your deck for the spell. There's the Mizuchi. And now we actually get to overlay these. And we get to make our Mermail Bisgaios. We then get to equip the Mizuchi to it, which is going to give us even more negations. This is going to be a spell negation. This is going to be basically a skill drain for your opponent's field. Your opponent is down 2 cards. This is an Omni negate, and then this is 3 monster negates. So, like, just off of having like a few extra cards, you can put up some really, really crazy boards. So keep that in mind. But we're going to go ahead and do one more test hand, and that'll basically wrap up my little combo test hand lesson with Mermail. So let's go ahead and look at our last hand of the video. Alrighty, we are now on to the last test hand video here. So we're gonna, or last test hand of the video, I should say, and just mix this up a little bit. Also, shout out to MetaMats for making this really cool mat. I actually went to an event over this weekend that my locals was hosting. I didn't play Yu-Gi-Oh! I played a different game because I didn't have time to go on the day they were hosting Yu-Gi-Oh! But they had MetaMats there, and they were selling a bunch of mats. I got this one, which looks really, really sweet. I got another one too, and I also got, because they had them, I'm just going to show these off because everyone always talks to me about sleeves. So they also had these awesome Alistair sleeves. I really, really love the artwork on these, so I had to pick them up. It was just a must for me. But grabbed this mat because I saw it and I was like, whoa, wait, I'm like, we just passed 800 subscribers. I can actually use this in the video. That's even better. So see, I'm going the extra mile for you guys. That's my dedication. But we'll go ahead and grab the last 5 cards here. Ooh, this is something. Nothing great, but it's something. I don't know what we're going to be able to do with this, but we're going to try to do something. This might be a really bad hand. Well, can we do anything? Well, normal the pike, which will then pitch the dragoons. We can then search for, do we want to grab gunned? No, because it's a level 3, we grab minstrel. And then dragoons triggers, and currently we have marksman's in hand. We're gonna grab the Neptibus. It's really important that we do this way. And this is not a good hand by any stretch of the imagination, but we do the minstrel effect and we send the Neptibus. We look at our opponent's hand, we strip a card away, and then the Neptibus triggers to then summon out the dragoon. Then we can overlay these two. We can make the Bahamut Shark effect. We'll summon a toad. Then our dragoons will trigger. Let's see. Let's grab a Lapis Dragon. This isn't going to be a great play, but it's going to be something at the minimum. We then get to summon the Lapis from hand. Then we can link 2. Yep, link 2. Now you have multiple options here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go with the core. Do we want the coral? Yeah, we're going to go with the coral anemone. There are like 15 different routes that I can go here, so I just wanted to like clarify that before we go any further. But we currently have 6 waters in grave. So what we can do is we can use the anemone to revive our minstrel. So now we have 5. We can then take 2 from our opponent's hand. Now keep in mind, one of them is banished for the turn because of the minstrel play. So now they're technically down 3 cards, but they'll only be down 2 at the end of the turn. Then we can use the minstrel and the anemone, and we can bring out our Halqifibrax, and Halq effect will trigger, which will then summon out our Fishborg launcher. Beautiful. And now we can synchro these. We can make our Crocosaur, which will then get us a draw. Oh, we get a Diva. Beautiful. And from here, we don't have much left to do. You can summon the launcher out, but there's no reason to summon the launcher out right now. If you were going second, it'd be completely different. Then you could summon it out, but there's no reason to. But essentially what's going to happen here on our opponent's turn is we do have an Omni Negate with the Toad, so then we could grab back basically any of these that we want or need. In my opinion, I would say like grabbing the Dragoons is probably your best bet because you do have a Diva in hand, so that's just pretty reasonable. Our Croc effect can trigger, which you can either get rid of a Dragoons and an infantry, or you can get rid of 2 infantries, which gets you 3 pops off of this, which is kind of ridiculous. So we'll assume that we did that, so that's 3 pops on top of the Omni Negate. You could also use your Halq effect to bring out your Formula Synchron and draw a card. Granted, you're not going to be able to like go into a higher synchro because we don't play any level 11s. But still, you were able to pop what would be 3 cards, because 1, 2, 3, and have an Omni negate, as well as hand loop your opponent for 2. That should be enough to like slow them down. And then for turn, we drew that off the formula. For turn, we draw a Megalo, even better, because you can go Megalo, pitch these 2 to summon this, and then you get the Dragoons effect and the Megalo effect. I'm just going to run through this, seeing it's the last hand of the video. Then we get to search for another Sea Serpent, which we could grab the Lapis. That's an option. We don't have to, but it's not a bad idea. So we grab the Lapis. Now keep in mind, we can't attack this turn because we sent the Moulin Glacier to make the Croc. That's the only downside of doing it this way, but it's still pretty darn good. Then the Lapis can trigger to summon itself, which is really, really sweet. But the cool thing that we can do is you have the option of making like a fishboard launcher out. So we can do that, and then we can use these 2. Make an 8 here for our Dragite. Now we can go with a Link 2 play, actually. We could do the Lapis. We can do the Croc. We can make the Mistar Boy. Then we can go for the Deep Sea Diva if we wanted to, and Diva could trigger its effect, which at this point, considering what we have in our extra deck left, that's kind of tough. It doesn't really make too much of a difference, but we can go with the Neptibus, because then we can use the Neptibus effect to send the Dragoon, search the Dragoon, and then Dragoon effect can trigger to grab us. I guess we could grab a Minstrel. There's a lot of thinking that goes into these plays too, so keep that in mind. So we get that out. Like I said, we can't attack this turn, but we can go Minstrel effect. We then take a look at our opponent's hand, give us more knowledge. Then the Dragoons would trigger Engrave, which can get us into, yes, that's correct, another Diva. And then from there, what we can do is 2 things. You can either use these 3 to make an Appaloosa, but in my case, I'm not going to be making an Appaloosa. I am instead going to be making an Access Code Talker, because our opponent still could have stuff on the field. So we assume we can pop, but if they don't have anything on the field, then you make the Appaloosa. It's completely dependent on the situation, but I'm just assuming they still have some cards left on the field. Then the Appaloosa comes out if they don't have anything left on the field. So let's just assume for this situation they don't have anything on the field, rather than having cards on the field. We now have 3 negates, monster negates. We have a spell and trap negate, and then we can also use the Formula Synchron on their turn, which will get us into the Satellite Warrior, which will be multiple pops of cards. So that's really, really crazy, that alone. So keep in mind, there's a lot of different routes that you can go with all these combos. I'm only showing you what I would do, how I would play it out in my head, looking at certain situations. But that essentially brings the test hand combo tutorial video to a close. It's a very, very fun deck to play. I wouldn't say it's super meta relevant, but I think there's definitely a place for it in the meta. If you can learn how to play it properly. It's obviously a deck that does take a decent amount of skill to really master, but it is an extremely enjoyable deck when you do get to a point where you understand the small and intricate interactions amongst all of the pieces of this deck. So if you guys enjoyed the video, as I mentioned at the beginning, please consider hitting that subscribe button. It's significantly appreciated. Obviously, turning the notification bell on lets you guys know exactly when I'm uploading cool and awesome content just like this video that you're watching right now. And additionally, as I said before, make sure you hit that thumbs up button, because it's helping my analytics out a whole lot. You guys have done so much for me, getting me over 800 subscribers now, and it's significantly appreciated. So thank you very much. It has been an absolute blast making videos over the last few years and educating people. I'm not sure what deck profile I'm doing next, so give me a little bit of time before the next video is uploaded. It'll probably be a week or two before I get another video up on something that I really want to showcase, but it'll take me a little time just to figure that out. So that basically wraps up the video. Hope you guys enjoyed it. If you did, make sure you do everything I told you to do. And for right now, this is Team Yugi Fails signing out.